Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that we've got the Here We Ruddy Go from big Fabrizio Romano for Nicholas Jackson to Chelsea. Chelsea have signed a centre-forward, and Chelsea is selling loads of players. Chelsea is seemingly doing exactly what they've needed to do. We've had Lukaku in a Chelsea shirt. We've got the Here We Go for a new striker. We've got some problems with Romelu Lukaku. There's a lot to get into today. We're so close. We are so close from completing this sort of relatively new look Chelsea. Bearing in mind we had a load of good players anyway, but players returning from injury, high-profile stars like your Enzo Fernandez, etc., and Christopher Nkunku as well. But now supplemented by the appropriate surrounding players. We're going to talk a little bit more about Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea's new number 9 striker. Of course, he's been in scintillating form at the end of the season for Villarreal, and his value has just gone up. We haven't made a bid for Caicedo yet, even though the player has completely agreed to Chelsea's terms. He wants to be a Chelsea player. Chelsea will approach Brighton, but I think they're probably sounding out the scenario, and of course, in the background, working very hard on player sales, as you would expect, with the trio going off to Saudi Arabia, and of course completing the Mateo Kovacic to Manchester City, completing the Kai Havertz to Arsenal FC, and seemingly we are expecting Mason Mount to Manchester United. So understandably, the Chelsea owners have been very busy at work, but there is a couple of key incomings to come. Quickly before we get into it, I just want to thank you for your continued support. Request that you do drop a like if you like the content. I'm just going to turn the aperture down a little bit. I look like a pale... oh, that's nice. I look like a human being now. Yes, thank you for liking, and you're welcome to subscribe. Should you choose to do so, hit the sweet bell, baby. Alright then, Fabrizio Romano, exclusive. Chelsea have reached full agreement to sign Nicholas Jackson. Here we go. Understand Villarreal accepted. Chelsea must pay a bit more than the release clause, but in better payment terms using installments. Medical being scheduled. Personal terms agreed. Here we go. New striker. So instead of paying £30 million release clause, we're probably going to pay a few million on top, like 2 or 3, to make sure we can play it over an extended period of time to ensure that we don't fall foul of financial fair play. Of course, we did a similar thing with Misha Mudryk I've referenced, and Enzo Fernandez, despite being our record signing, we've only paid £33 million up front for an £105 million signing. So they're smart. They're like, look, you'll get your money, but on our terms. And they're kind of rolling the dice a little bit, hoping that will generate more revenue and things will just ultimately settle for Chelsea. And you'd have to assume they will over time. But this is what we've done with Nicholas Jackson. So I won't go over the stuff we said before. We know he's a good ball-carrying striker. He's creative. He dribbles. He was in great form at the end of last season for Villarreal. He scored 9 goals in 8 games, which is the regurgitated one-liner, but it's true. Let's have a look at these on Transfermarkt. Of course, his value has gone up to 30 million from pretty much nothing since being at Villarreal. He, his release clause a little bit more than that, but the market value is never entirely accurate. On Transfermarkt, as you can see, he is a centre forward in terms of his main position. But he can play on either side. And as a ball-carrying, sort of dribbling, creative forward, he's not going to just be a lump in the middle. This is good. Chelsea will do a lot of interchanging with certain players. Noni Madueke will come in. If Sterling plays, he'll be able to exchange. And Nkunku will want to probably give and go with a striker. Excuse me. As you can see, he's right-footed, which doesn't really matter. It's, we've got a left footer in Romelu Lukaku, and whatever. Centre forward, of course, he's from Senegal, and he is 1.88, nearly 1.9 meters, and 22 years old. Now, to reiterate before, we are hoping that this is the kind of sort of situation with 2 young strikers egging each other on to be better, and whoever rises to the top, whoever's the best striker will become Chelsea's number 9. And I am, of course, referencing between our new striker Nicholas Jackson and Armando Broja. I've said many times that Chelsea really, 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 really hold high regard for Armando Bria. They think he's one of the best young strikers in Europe. They probably value Bria more than, maybe about the same, or maybe more than Nicholas Jackson. They think he's going to be incredible. But he had injuries. He's going to take time. And maybe Jackson, playing in La Liga, which is the second highest league in Europe still, I think, scoring that many goals in that, the final sort of 9-10 weeks of the campaign, in form, you'd feel like Chelsea are maybe gambling or betting a little bit that this is a coming of age moment for a striker, 22 years old, getting into that sweet spot. It's very few that just explode from late teens onward, unless your name is Erling Haaland or perhaps some others out there. I'm sure you can think of an example. So I want to pose this question to you. Is this one of the best decisions Chelsea have made for a long time? Of course, it's like a philosophical question of, do you solve your problems by spending a lot of money on a centre forward? Not long ago did Chelsea icon Graham Potter, sorry, just a bit of fun, but football manager Graham Potter, he referenced in a press conference, at a Chelsea press conference, that throwing a lot of money on a number 9 isn't always the solution, and kind of, threw a little bit of shade at Romelu Lukaku, or not, maybe not so much directly, but kind of reference how that didn't work out. Excuse me. Of course, until that point, Romelu was our record signing at £97.5 million. Ugh. So we threw a lot of money at Lukaku. We threw a lot of money at, Morata. We threw ridiculous wages at the likes of Higuain. It's not the answer, is it? We can, we would have spent a lot of money on Lautaro. Maybe some sort of peculiar big twist still happens towards the end of the transfer window, and we do a late, attempt for Lautaro. I don't know. But maybe this is smart, spend all your money in the place where you win games, midfield. Enzo, we needed him. He's excellent. Great. Spend all your money, again, same sentence, Moises Caicedo. If you build a team structurally properly, then goals should follow if the team is culturally confident, because they can lean on the structure, which that's been the antithesis of Chelsea. Chelsea have been like the antithesis of that, should I say. The opposite. We don't have a structure to fall on. The confidence and culture of scoring goals isn't there. So you can plug and play and drop all these informed centre forwards, as many as you want. And again, short of it being Erling Haaland, I don't think it's going to work. I truly probably believe that if you drop Lewandowski or Benzema into that Chelsea team last season, they would have struggled. There is actually maybe we would have got a few goals, but then again, Lukaku may have got a few goals. But really, you need to look at Chelsea's goal scoring problem holistically now. We've done the expensive striker thing, and it's not really worked for us. So let's do a profiling, sensible purchase transfer for 30 million quid, just over, say 32, 33 million quid with the extra sweetener on top. That's Michy Batshuayi money. Now, let's hope it's not the Michy Batshuayi results. Although Michy, we're not going to talk about Batshuayi now, but he at times looked like he really could do it. Like his goals to minutes ratio was good. Really good finisher with both feet. The issue with Batshuayi wasn't his finishing, and that's legit. It was his tactical retention, information. Apparently he just wouldn't, he wouldn't. He is a grown man who likes SpongeBob. I just don't think he's the kind of guy who's really studious. Anyway, I can't speak for Nicholas Jackson, but, Chelsea have hopefully profiled him really, really well and scouted him well and thought, you know what? He's the one to build in this system. He's the type of striker. He's the appropriate amount of funds, and he's the one. So here we go. 2 young strikers. Chelsea's strike force. Romelu Lukaku. Here's a problem. Let's talk about in this great talk of outgoings, there is an issue here because Chelsea want to sell him. Ideally, they want to sell him to Saudi. And he listened to offers, but he was still got that ego of, and maybe quite rightly, I'm too good to go to Saudi right now. Or, I still want to fight for European football. But he wants to play for Inter. He loves Inter. He's got, it's his little thing, Inter, innit? Iceland, man. Why did you leave for Chelsea then? You silly knob. Do you know what I mean? If you love it so much and you do interviews about it and then you refuse to leave on your loans, look, man, like it's very difficult to have sympathy for Romelu Lukaku. I do not wish any ill on him. I don't want him. I know, there's that clip of Thierry Henry on CBS saying he went through some really dark, challenging moments after the World Cup, and I would not wish that on him at all. I hope the very best. He's been scoring goals and doing well for Inter at the end of last campaign. Hopefully, I thought that means they're gonna freaking buy him. It doesn't look like Inter are able to buy him, and Chelsea won't sanction another loan, which I'm pretty happy about because I'm tired of just getting taken for a ride and this depreciating asset. And Lukaku's annoyed at this. But I don't think he is in a position to be annoyed because he screwed over Chelsea so profoundly. Like, that interview was just so... I know people forget about it because time heals, and in football things move so quickly. But that was so dumb. That was so dumb. And the way it kind of drept fed... And look, to do an unsanctioned interview with Sky is monumental for like a club to be upset with you, because you have to get like clearance to do any interviews. But if you do like a European broadcaster like Sky, and it was Sky Italy, obviously, Sky Italia, that is like a no, especially if you're like a record signing, high profile player. But to do that and to like slag off your employer and just winky like face and kissy lips to your previous club and like, I'm coming back, oh yeah, Lautaro, don't go because I'll be back soon, and all that is like mind-blowingly idiotic. And though I don't wish any ill will on him, that for me is just... I mean, if he came back on the team and scored goals to Stamford Bridge for a cheer and we go, whoa, and he'd like, kiss the badge and everyone would be like, wait, we've forgotten it, everything's fine. But whatever, the point is, he can't be annoyed with Chelsea because he did that. And not only that, Todd Bowley and Clearlake came into Chelsea and at a meeting said, what do you want, man? Like, they didn't say, oh, this is our club now and you've stitched us, you're the enemy, not the enemy, but you're, on the naughty step. They're like, what do you want, mate? I want to go to Inter. All right, we'll just do a loan. We'll take a massive loss and we'll loan you to Inter. He's blessed that he got that in the first season. So shut your noise, Rom, because I get you're 30, that's 4 years younger than me, which I feel is just mental. I just feel like a child. I get it, you're 30, you want to keep playing at a high level, but take a hit, half your wages, whatever you got to do, brother. Or just take the bag and go to Saudi. Your life ain't that hard, dude. I don't know, I feel like this is a lot to do with me. This is like an emotional outburst. I feel like I'm on the this really is football therapy now. I've like tried to assert and deliver news and I've just started going on a rant. Maybe I have like deep lying issues and being hurt by Chelsea strikers. Well, maybe that's why spending only 30 million or 3 million is the way forwards. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Chelsea have nearly completed their new look starting lineup. We're just short of Moises Caicedo, which I say that would be a horrendously hard transfer to pull off. Not the player's agreed terms. He only wants Chelsea, so it reports. Although, again, I do worry if City sign Declan Rice, that Arsenal would drop their £90 million Rice bid just in Caicedo and rob him from underneath us. And then maybe he'll think, oh, Champions League football or whatever. I don't know. It can happen. Point being, Chelsea are very, very close to completing their first choice starting 11, which is terribly exciting. Yeah, let me know what you think. This is if I think it's probably a smart move, finally doing a cheaper striker and not throwing the bag at it. Let me know what you think of Jackson, Lukaku, Scenario, Caicedo, and finishing the starting 11. I'm feeling pretty excited. Thank you for joining me. Of course, I only just uploaded a little while ago, but I'm doing videos all the time, so hit the bell when you sub, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.